Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on Sunshine Reports. My name is Sahid Aribisala. President Bola Tinubu has released the first batch of portfolios assigned to his newly appointed ministers, with a member representing Akoko Northeast, Northwest in the Federal House of Representatives, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, heading the newly created Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. President Bola Tinubu had yesterday assigned portfolios to all the 45 minister designates whose nominations were recently confirmed by the Senate. Meanwhile, the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation has confirmed Monday as swearing-in date for the ministers. The SGF, Judge Akume, in a statement, said the swearing-in ceremony for the ministers, which will be conducted by the President, would hold at the State House Conference Center, Aso Villa, Abuja, at 10 a.m. The statement said the incoming ministers were expected to come with 2 guests each. Residents of Akure, the Ondo State capital, have solicited the intervention of the federal government on the incessant hike in pump price of petrol, while lamenting the hardship people are going through since the removal of fuel subsidy by President Bola Tinubu on assumption of office. The residents said life is becoming unbearable for the average masses. Omori Olangbeji has details.
Currently, premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, is being sold between 570 and 600 naira in Ondo State. While some are selling, some filling stations are shut, indicating the non-availability of fuel. This is the 3rd time in 10 weeks that the pump price of petrol will be hiked, with reasons due to landing cost of petrol, foreign exchange scarcity, and deteriorating exchange rates, which borders Nigerians. Some residents in Akure expressed disappointment over the incessant increase, saying it is negatively affecting the living.
The situation is not good. Very woefully than before. In this place now, I thought we were selling 579, but if we go to Abale, we will see 630, 620 in various of the filling stations.
So, of recent, when they were selling the fuel around 500 naira, half tank, it's not up to half tank anyway. I fill it with 20,000 naira. You understand? 20,000. I was ashamed. In fact, I even brought out my jerry can. I just said, just give me 20,000 naira fuel. Hoping that it will fill and it will remain. Fortunately, it just consume all.
They want government's genuine intervention as the situation is getting out of hands.
We are not convenient, so from Abale to Akure, it's 200 naira. It's too much. There's no money in the town. You can help us appeal to the government to solve these things out. People are saying 617 per litre. It's not convenient.
Reports have earlier filtered in that the pump price of petrol may be on the verge of another upward review, as information gathered from oil marketers suggests that the increase may be much sooner than later. This prediction, according to reports, is backed up by new information about the surge in the landing cost of petrol, which has gone up by 37.4% month-on-month to 632 naira 17 kobo per litre in July 2023, up from 460 naira per litre in June 2023, aside additional expenses like transportation and taxes, which could push the final price to nearly 700 naira per litre. As at the time of filing this report, there are no longer queues at any of the filling stations in Akure, even as sales continue. Omori Olangbeji, Osrc News.
Ondo State government has assured residents that more palliative measures to cushion the effect of the removal of fuel subsidy will soon take off. Commissioner for Finance and Chairman, Ondo State Palliative Committee, Wale Akintenewa, said pensioners and vulnerable persons will start receiving 10,000 naira palliative by the end of the month. The commissioner also spoke on other wide range of issues around financial position of the state at an event organized by the State Council of Nigeria Union of Journalists. The report. Ondo State Commissioner for Finance is a special guest at the penthouse of Nigeria Union of Journalists, Ondo State Council. His visit to the penthouse alongside Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, Jide Ekpobomini, is to attend a program organized by the union tagged Ondo Media Agenda. While welcoming him to the midst of journalists drawn from various organizations, the NUJ chairman, Leki Adigbite, said the initiative is an opportunity for key policymakers to interface with journalists with the aim of providing accountability and setting agenda geared towards bettering society.
We feature political office holders to a kind of accountability forum, so to say. Whatever you have been doing for the people of Ondo State.
One after another, the journalists took turns to inquire on salient issues, among them palliative measures designed by the government, state of several infrastructure projects, transparency in governance, and internally generated revenues.
You have just been appointed on the revenue committee by President Tinubu. You are going to be a stakeholder on that committee, and whatever recommendations you'll be making to them will be very charming. Now, how do you people tend to let the poor really breathe?
Mr. Akintenewa, who is also the chairman of the State Palliative Committee, reviewed that Ondo State has received just 3,000 bags of rice, as against its 1,000 bags promised by the federal government to cushion the effect of subsidy removal. The commissioner assured that pensioners and vulnerable persons will begin to get 10,000 naira palliative funds by the end of August.
I can assure you that beginning from this month, apart from transportation, you will see that we'll start delivering. I can assure you that pensioners, by the end of this month, will get their 10,000 that we have promised them. The vulnerable in the state, that's all, across all the local governments, will also get their 10,000 naira. Other promises will be made. You know, some of these promises, you now have to put structures in place to be able to deliver on them. So it takes time. To even get enough people to supply the quantum is not a joke. Storage is an issue. Securing the place where it's stored is an issue.
Despite setbacks recorded on some road projects like the Oda Road due to contractors' demand for variation in the face of increased market prices, the Finance Commissioner said all projects will be delivered in due time.
The biggest legacy this government will be leaving on Ondo State is the deep sea port. The passion with which the governor, Arakuna Oluwarotimi Odoayo, has pursued the issue of the deep sea port is something worth commending.
Mr. Akintenewa, a member of the Presidential Tax Reform Committee, who attributed the increase in Ondo State internally generated revenue from 500 million to 3 billion naira monthly under the Akeredolu administration as a result of his principal's passion for the state's development, expressed confidence that President Tinubu remains committed to masses' welfare. The Nigerian Union of Journalists in the state says it will continue to engage those in public and private sectors to make them accountable. The Ondo State House of Assembly has passed into law a bill for a law to provide for the creation of new local council development areas, LCDAs. The move is sequel to the submission of a report by the House Committee of the Whole House. House of Assembly correspondent Omoshilola Adesoye Ajayi completes the story.
The House of Assembly had last week held a public hearing to ensure fairness, equity and justice in the creation of local government development areas in the state. While submitting the reports of the whole House after scaling through the third reading during plenary presided over by the Speaker Olamide Oladiji, the Deputy Speaker Abayomi Akinruntan noted the need for continued assistance of peace in spite the creation of new LCDAs. He equally said there is need for State Surveyor General and his team to map out of all the communities in order to avoid communal clashes in future.
Having examined the bill critically, both our public hearing and parliamentary meeting, the House hereby adopts the provision contained herein.
The majority leader of the House, Oluwole Ogunmolashoye, who moved a motion for the bill to be read the third time and subsequently passed into law, appreciated the committee for a job well done, and the motion was seconded by a lawmaker representing Akure South Constituency 1, Olajide Oguntodu.
On behalf of this House, we appreciate all the members
participated in this bill. And we must also use this opportunity to appreciate the Ondo State Mr. Governor that did it fit, that proposed this bill to this honorable house. And we know with the passage of this bill, if this bill can become a law, it will have more value to the good people of Ondo State.
The Speaker, Olamide Oladiji, thanked the governor for the initiative, which he noted will foster more development at the grassroots.
I wish to bring to the notice of this to the entire people of Ondo State that the committee of the Royal House has painstakingly looked into the agitation and complaint raised by the good people at the public hearing, and necessary correction recommendations have been made to the executive arm.
The bill for the creation of additional 33 LCDAs to the existing 18 local governments is in line with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as part of efforts to bring government closer to the people and, by extension, generate development to the grassroots. From Ondo State House of Assembly, Omoshiliola Adesori Ajayi, Osrc News.
With that, we've come to the end of Sunshine Reports. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.